So what we're going to do is talk about the 7 wastes. You have this sheet of paper. You don't have to do anything with it yet. The first of the 7 wastes is overproduction. It's normally considered one of the most important wastes. It's like an oxymoron. Important waste, right? Think about disruptions in the regular flow of goods or services, because that's what overproduction creates. Doing or making more than is required. I see a couple smiles in this room. Doing or making more than is required, just in case. We need to create 5 more widgets. We need to purchase 30 more skillets or pallets of tomato sauce. We need to purchase 58 more tons of paper. We need to, all these things, just in case we need it. We might need that. We never know, Rob. Examples. Just some examples of what we've seen at clients. There's a production push opposed to a sales push. We need to keep our people busy. We need to have the lights on in the warehouse. That's a production push versus sales push. Any accountants in the room that'll admit it? A couple. Generating excessive reports and analysis. Analysis paralysis. You have spreadsheets going all over the place. Stop. What does it mean? Why are we doing this? Right? You have a massive schedule about prepaid expenses. Like, it's wonderful. It's a beautiful spreadsheet. It actually has colors on it. Right? But why are we doing it? Look at your desk. Do you have piles of stuff on it? Do we need it? Requirement of working overtime. We had a client that talked about mandatory overtime. That was interesting to me. I've heard it before, but I never really thought about it. So what's mandatory overtime? There's 2 types. Mandatory overtime can be, we have a really time-sensitive project, then you think, that you didn't plan out well enough, or your salespeople overpromised, under-delivered. Therefore, we need to get this project done, so we have mandatory overtime. Or is mandatory overtime required in order to fill your shelves? Or is your staffing not right? Mandatory. People talk about what's the accountant's life between January 1st and April 15th. Well, it's really, really bad. No, it's not. Like, the perception, it's interesting talking to kids out of college. Rob, did you ever ski? No, I never skied, but even when I was 8 years old, I never skied. I don't want to ski. I don't like the cold, right? But mandatory overtime. Are we staffed right? People talk about work-life balance, right? Did you ever hear that term? Work-life balance. And I love when we're recruiting people, and there's other firms who, my best friend is a partner in a big 4 firm, and he'll text me at night, Rob, just leaving the office, it's like 11:30. Well, guess what? I don't get it until the next morning because I go to bed early, right? So we're in a recruiting environment, and here his firm is right next to me. I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So here the firm next to me is talking about work-life balance, mandatory overtime. They never brought that up. Right? Work-life balance. So the session goes through. I wanted to say it after hearing it for an hour. But so the session clears. They're putting their things around. And I turned to the kid. I said, do you realize like you kind of just lied to his college students for about 2 hours? And like it was, I said, no, like really. Like you talked about work-life balance. I said, tell me, I don't know you, and you don't have to tell me, but tell me about your work-life balance. Because my buddy, who I didn't say his name, I said, he sends me text messages more frequently than not about being in the office till 11:30 because there were these little fire drills. Little fire drills. Well, there's little fire drills every once in a while, but a little fire drill at 2 times a week, that's an issue, not a fire drill. Okay? So the requirement of working overtime. Are your people aligned right? Are they focused on the right things? Perceived value of customers. Doing too much. Clients in the room that have worked with me, I give benchmark reports to everyone. How are you doing in relation to the industry? Several people get them, several people appreciate them. I had one client tell me, Rob, I don't really like your graphs are really nice, but I don't really care. Right? So there's graphs about the financial information of privately held companies within a certain industry. Guess what? That client will never get that graph again. Not because it's personal, there was just not value to it. And it takes time to do it. So if it's not valuable to the customer, don't do it. Right? It's something to think about. What do your clients value? I don't know. Well, how about you ask them? The number of quotes in relation to new customers or sales. Are we going after the right customers? Are we doing the right things? Look at the pipeline. Right? Pipeline in relation to, is it even the right customer? Or is it just going to add to our top line? The sales mentality.